Have you ever stopped to think that maybe, just maybe, there's this incredible power source
Mm.
humming away just beneath your everyday thoughts?
Hmm.
Like, what if your own mind, deep down in the subconscious part, holds the key to unlocking things you barely thought were possible?
It's a compelling idea, that whole concept of manifesting your reality.
Exactly. And today, we're doing a deep dive into a book that, well, really pushed this idea into the mainstream. Joseph Murphy's 1963 classic, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Ah, yes, a very influential one.
Right. It argues that this hidden part of us, the subconscious, it profoundly shapes, our thoughts, habits, even our health and success.
Everything, really.
So our mission here is to unpack Murphy's approach. It's this interesting mix of spiritual ideas and kind of practical psychology.
Yeah, it's a unique blend.
We'll look at the core concepts, its strengths, because it definitely has strengths, but also touch on areas where maybe we need a more critical eye.
Sounds good. And it's worth remembering, this book really set the stage for a lot of the law of attraction stuff that came later.
Oh, absolutely.
Murphy's ideas, like how the subconscious just accepts thoughts you feed it, or the power of visualizing,
Mhm.
those became cornerstones for that whole movement. It shows why it's still relevant, It wasn't just some passing fad.
Good point. Context is key.
And for this deep dive, just so you know, we've pulled together key bits, excerpts, analyses, summaries, reviews of the book itself.
So we get straight to the core.
Exactly. Cut through the fluff, get to the nuggets of knowledge efficiently, give you the distilled picture.
Okay, let's jump in then. Murphy's central thesis. What's the absolute core argument he makes about the subconscious?
Well, fundamentally, it's that the subconscious is immensely powerful, like unbelievably powerful.
More than just habits.
Oh, yeah. It controls habits, emotions, but also, and this is where it gets really interesting, even physical health. And the crucial part, Murphy repeats this often, is its uncritical acceptance.
Uncritical, meaning?
Meaning it takes in any thought you plant, it doesn't filter, it doesn't judge if something is good for you or bad for you.
That sounds potentially empowering, but also a little dangerous if it just accepts anything.
Precisely. That's the double-edged sword. Think of it like fertile soil.
Okay.
It'll grow whatever seed you plant, right? Beautiful flowers of success, health, or weeds, limitations, illness, fear. It just manifests what it receives.
So we're constantly programming it, whether we realize it or not.
Constantly. Every thought, every feeling is kind of like input.
Wow. Okay, that really highlights how we might get stuck on limitations then.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, how does Murphy say we actively change the programming? That's where visualization comes in, right?
Yeah.
And affirmations.
Exactly. That's the second big piece, visualization and affirmation.
How does he frame that?
He argues that by consistently repeating positive statements, affirmations, or by vividly, emotionally imagining yourself already having what you desire.
Like you're already successful or healthy?
Yes. You're essentially burning that image, that feeling, onto your subconscious. He tells stories, for example, of people using really clear mental pictures of perfect health to help recover from sickness.
Believing that mental rehearsal changes the physical state.
That's the idea, imprinting the desired outcome.
And this is where Murphy takes it a step further, doesn't he?
Yep.
Into something more spiritual. He brings in faith and prayer. How do those connect?
Yeah, this is fascinating. Murphy suggests prayer isn't just about asking. It works when you truly believe and, crucially, feel that your subconscious is listening and capable of making it happen.
So feeling is key.
Absolutely. He actually presents God and the subconscious as deeply linked, almost like tapping into a universal intelligence through your subconscious. Your mind becomes the channel for this, well, divine power, as he sees it.
That's quite a blend. Psychology and spirituality.
It resonates with a lot of people, that connection.
Okay, one of the most maybe radical claims is this idea of mind over body. He really pushes the idea that the subconscious can directly heal.
Yeah. He does. And conversely, things like stress, fear, anger, he presents them as actively damaging the body.
Wow, peace and belief promote healing.
And what's important about Murphy's angle here, I think, is that he's not just talking about a generally sunny attitude.
It's deeper than that.
Much deeper. He's talking about specific, deeply embedded beliefs in the subconscious being the real drivers. It's about shifting those core convictions which, he claims, can literally alter your physical reality.
He gives examples of this.
Oh yeah, compelling anecdotes, people overcoming chronic conditions, not just by wishing, but by really imprinting that image, that feeling of perfect health deep within their subconscious.
Right. So we've laid out these pretty powerful ideas. Let's talk about the book's strengths. Why do you think it became such an enduring classic?
Well, for one, it's incredibly simple and practical in its approach.
Easy to grasp.
Very. Concepts like affirmations, visualization, they're straightforward. You can understand them and, try them out pretty easily. Plus, the book is packed with inspirational stories.
Ah, the anecdotes again.
Yes, stories of people who supposedly turn their lives around just by changing their mindset. That's incredibly motivating for readers, makes the ideas feel tangible.
Yeah, those stories must be powerful motivators. But does he ever talk about when it doesn't work? Or, the potential downsides if someone thinks only positive thinking is enough? Which brings us to criticisms, I suppose.
That's a really good point, and it does lead into some common critiques. While it's inspiring, some find it a bit repetitive.
Outside.
The main idea, the subconscious accepts what you feed. It gets repeated in many different ways, sometimes without adding much new insight for, say, really complex problems like you mentioned.
Okay. And the elephant in the room, perhaps. The lack of hard science.
Definitely. From a modern scientific viewpoint, many claims, especially about dramatic instant healing through belief alone, are largely anecdotal. There isn't rigorous, controlled scientific evidence presented in the book to back up all of it.
And you mentioned the blend earlier.
Yeah.
The religious undertone.
Right. Murphy mixes psychology with a clear Christian spiritual perspective. Now, for some readers, that's a huge plus. It aligns with their beliefs.
But for others?
For others, it might feel less scientific or maybe just not universally applicable if they don't share that specific worldview.
Makes sense. Any other major criticisms?
I think the last main one is that it can sometimes come across as too optimistic, almost suggesting that just believing hard enough can fix anything.
Which realistically
Isn't always the case, right?
Yeah.
Some problems need concrete action, external help, professional support, not just internal belief changes.
Okay, so putting it all together,
Yeah.
what's the takeaway for you listening? Generally, the book gets high praise, often rated like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it's definitely a cornerstone of self-help.
If you like books like Think and Grow Rich or The Secret, this is kind of the grandfather of that thinking.
Absolutely. I think the key is to approach it with a balanced mindset.
How do you mean?
Well, you can definitely take the positive thinking stuff, the affirmations, the visualizations, see them as genuinely useful tools.
For personal growth.
Exactly. For self-improvement, shifting your perspective, focusing your intentions, they can absolutely be beneficial.
Okay, so let's try and boil it down. Murphy's big idea. Your subconscious mind has enormous power.
Immense power.
And what you consistently think about, especially when you add emotion to it, can actually start to shape your reality.
That's the core message. But, and this is the crucial takeaway we get from looking at the analyses and reviews.
Yes.
While those techniques, positive thinking, affirmations, visualization, are great tools.
Right.
Real lasting change. That usually demands action. It requires effort.
It's not just magic thinking.
Right. Sometimes it requires professional help, too. It's about combining the mental work with practical steps in the real world. Belief alone often isn't enough.
Belief plus action.
That's the more complete picture, I think.
So here's something for you to think about. If the subconscious really does have this kind of influence, how might knowing that change the way you tackle challenges? Or even how you set goals? What's that sweet spot, that balance between really believing in an outcome and actually taking that first crucial step to make things happen?